Hello everyone, this is Joe here with Joe Talks, and in this video we're going to go through the assembly process for putting together our HP42. And so you should have seen a previous video where we did the unboxing and kind of went through all of the different stuff. In this video we're going to go through getting it pre-assembled, and then we're going to set it up and do a pre-burn here outside. The instructions don't say to do a pre-burn, but I'm going to do that outside so I don't stink my house up. And that pre-burn is just to make sure everything's functioning, get all of maybe any manufacturing oils burned off, kind of just get that initial burn in before we install it in the house. Now this unit came with a couple of parts that we have to put on. It does have a pretty good manual to go through how to set it up and set up your venting. It came with the control panel, the power cord, and then these other three parts. And the user's manual is pretty straightforward on how to hook up the control panel and do any programming. It isn't real clear what these items are, and so I dug through the owner's manual, and on the very last section it does show a picture of this piece right here, and it's calling this a fire shield. And so I think I have figured out how to get that mounted, but the instructions really are not very clear what these are. I've kind of figured out just through just looking at it. I think I figured out where these go. If we look down here in the firebox, there are a couple of these open ports, and kind of logic would dictate that these are just plugs to kind of plug those off. They seem to fit in right in there. You'd think these would be sealed off a little bit more to keep dust from getting down in here, but I don't know, maybe they don't think it needs it. But there, looks like those fit right in there. If anybody out there watching this video knows with certainty what these are, or if this is where these are supposed to go, let me know. And then this piece right here, if we look up underneath this firebox, if we look inside, this is obviously where the fire and the flame is going. And if you look up here, these tubes are exposed, and so this shield, it would appear, is just to make sure that flame doesn't hit these heat exchange tubes directly. So the way I believe this is supposed to go in here, and again, none of this is spelled out in the owner's manual. I'm gonna, let me see if I can. Hard to do this with one hand holding the camera and one actually doing the work here. But as you see there is a lip that fits right in here. And there, it kind of floats. And so if you remember in the last video, I had shown where some of these standoffs were loose. I did go back in and tighten those, and this thing is, I hope that doesn't rattle around a whole bunch, but my guess is once that gets hot, it's probably going to flex around anyway. So those are the two additional components that we needed to install, and then we are going to install the control panel, and the control panel is pretty straightforward. These 4 screws are supposed to come out, and they correspond to these 4 holes right here. There you can see they line up, and the manual is pretty clear about how to mount this. So I will get the control panel installed. You will need a Phillips screwdriver for this, so I'm going to go ahead and take these screws out. I probably wouldn't use any kind of power drill for this. Certainly don't want to take a risk of damaging these fasteners. I'm guessing these are probably pretty cheap and soft, so I wouldn't go doing anything that's going to put a lot of torque on these. There is a small washer on the back side of the screw. Make sure you don't lose it. And the instructions do say you can offset this control board to the left or to the right, depending on your application. I am going to mount it right in the center, just because that fits well with our installation. And I am putting the washer on the, keeping the washer on the fastener head side of the control panel mount. Go. And I wouldn't over tighten these, just snug them down. You know, if they're not tight enough, you can always snug them a little bit more, but if you over tighten them, there's no going back. So you don't want to strip those, like I said, what are probably pretty cheap fasteners. You don't want to strip them out, so just snug them down. Now we do have to connect the control wire, and so this piece right here has the plug in. There's a little port. This piece has the plug in. There's a small port right here that you just have to plug it into. It does have directionality to it, so just kind of pay attention. If you notice, there's two little alignment grooves that fit right into these two little slots. You don't want to force it, it should just go in fairly smooth. Okay, and there we have it. Alright, that's it. Alright, and so that is pretty much the pre-installation. Now I'm going to get this set up. I'm going to set up a little hearth pad out here and just loosely connect some of the venting tubes so I can vent this out and up away from any flammable portions of my deck up here. But I'm going to get it set up and get some pellets in it, and we'll fire it up and let it do an initial burn. Alright, I am all set up to do the initial burn in here. Going to take just a few seconds and show you what I've got set up here. Before I do this, just as a quick warning, don't do this if you don't have a safe place to do it, or if you don't feel comfortable doing this. Like I said, this is not a procedure that's in the manual. This is just something I'm doing on the side. So be very careful. I've got a fire extinguisher over here ready to go in the event that I do have a problem. So just be very, very careful with how you do this. So, but I think I'm set up, and I'm going to just give you a quick run over about how I set this up to do the burn-in real quick. Alright, so I have a unit set over here, and I set it right on the edge of the stairs off of my deck. I do have the unit setting on the stove pad here. And then in the back, I went ahead and mocked up exhaust pipe, so I'm not just running straight out of the back. I do have it mocked up similar to what it's going to be like once it's installed. Obviously, this is going to have the pipe and pipe insert, and then my vertical pipes will be longer, and there'll be another 90 degree. But this at least gets the exhaust out away from the unit. And then I've got another that second stove pad just down here, just to make sure that everything is protected. So I'm going to go ahead and get this powered up, and I'm going to get some pellets in it, and we will see what happens. And there is a startup procedure. They say you can go into a diagnostic mode and verify that all of the different devices are working the way they're supposed to. I'm not going to do that. If I have a problem, I will go back and use that as a diagnostic procedure, but for right now, I'm just going to get some pellets in here. I've got a 40-pound bag of pellets that I bought from Lowe's. We'll get that put in, and then we will walk through the priming procedure, and we'll get this thing fired up and see how it does. So just real quick, double check and make sure there's nothing in the hopper, that I didn't overlook any packing material, and I don't see anything in there. Alright, so just to give you an idea of what one 40-pound bag looks like in the hopper. This hopper says it'll hold 120 pounds, so should hold 3 of those bags. That just gives you a feel. I'm only going to put 1 bag in for what we're doing here. Alright, so let's go walk through that priming procedure. Alright, so if we look here on page 31 of the manual under pre-burn diagnostic testing, there is a section down here where it talks about priming the auger. And so at this point we've loaded the pellet hopper, and then we're going to prime. And it does say right here that this is only required the first time that the stove is lit. So when it's brand new, and then anytime you've emptied the hopper for cleaning or maintenance or anything of that nature. So let's go step through that. It says we have to go in and press the combination function. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to step through these and get it primed. Okay, so that procedure is pretty straightforward. You do a long press of this plus sign, absolute value plus sign, until the red light comes on. And at that point, you hit this return button, and that turns the feeding on message will display. And you basically, what I gather, that just turns the auger on. And then you come down here and you can see that there's pellets dropping down into the burn bucket, and it's already starting to smoke a little bit. But once you detect that there's pellets dropping into that burn pot, you then turn it off, and then at that point it's primed and it's ready to go. So right now we're just going to let this thing run, and in that little bit of time it's already started to smoke a little bit. So yeah, so right there we see we've already got some smoke coming out, and we're just going to let this thing run. Here we see we've already got a flame here. I don't know if you can hear that. It gives you kind of an idea of how loud the fan is. That was a concern I had when I bought this unit, was how loud was it going to be, because this is going to be setting in our main living area of our home, so I didn't want it to be too loud. But I don't know, it doesn't sound too bad. Alright, so we've been running, I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes now, and it's getting a pretty good flame built up in there. It does have a guide in the user's manual where it tells you what a good flame should look like, kind of basically how tall should the flame be depending on what the heat setting is. So the flame's not quite as high as what it says it should be yet, but I imagine that burn pot's probably not completely primed full of pellets just yet. But there you can see kind of about how much smoke's coming out of the end. All right, so I can feel some heat on my hand, but it's not just that intense. And the pipe is really, I mean, for all intents and purposes, cool to the touch. I mean, it's a little warm, but not anything that would catch fire, so that's good. All right, I'm just gonna let it run for a while.